But specific to this moment in time in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, we need a fresh start. We truly do.
Major wins tonight for Kentucky Republicans. Voters elect Matt Bevin governor, and the GOP scores victories in many other statewide races.
Stunning losses for Kentucky Democrats tonight. Now many in the party are asking what went wrong.
We'll bring you an update on a teenager that was severely injured in a car crash in September. He's now recovering at Cardinal Hill. You'll hear from his friends on how he's doing.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. Kentucky voters spoke and they demanded change. Tonight, the Republican Party has won most of the statewide offices on the ballot, including governor.
Businessman Matt Bevin will become only the second Republican governor in Kentucky in the last 40 years. His running mate Janine Hampton will be the first African American to hold a statewide office in Kentucky. Bevin defeated Democrat Jack Conway, the state's attorney general, by nearly 9 percentage points. Republicans also won state auditor, agriculture commissioner, and treasurer. Miranda Combs begins our campaign 2015 team coverage live from Bevin campaign headquarters in Louisville. Miranda?
Amber and Sam, it was about an hour and a half ago when Matt Bevin came out to greet all of his hundreds of supporters that were here tonight. Many are still here basking in that big win.
How does it feel to be governor-elect?
Feels outstanding. It's a good day for Kentucky.
That was Governor-elect Matt Bevin's first words as he walked out to greet hundreds of his supporters as the second Republican governor in 4 decades.
What an extraordinary night this is. I'll tell you what is awesome, that this is a race that is a collective effort. You all are the wind behind us. You all were the momentum that brought this forward. You all represent those who from east to west, from north to south, are why we indeed will be the next governor and lieutenant governor of this Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Bevin said many times throughout his campaign that Kentucky needs a fresh start. Tonight, he promised the same and took a moment to remember what he's grateful for.
For the 1.5 million Americans who have given their lives in uniform of our nation's military. For the men and women who have given their lives in the uniform of our police officers and our firefighters and our other first responders. They have afforded us the very ability to be here tonight, freely assembled, freely speaking, and having the very privilege of the ballot box. And so our hat is off to those of you who have given everything and to your families who are watching tonight.
Back live now in Louisville, Bevin did introduce all 9 of his children. He said he wouldn't go through their whole names because that would take a long time. Bevin got a large applause when he said that this was an exciting night for Republicans, but he got even bigger applause when he said this was a big night for conservatives. We're live in Louisville. Miranda Combs, WKYT.
Miranda, thank you. As we mentioned, Republicans also scored victories in 3 other statewide races tonight.
Among them, state auditor Republican Mike Harmon, a state lawmaker and an insurance agent, ousted incumbent Democrat Adam Edlin. Harmon won the race despite spending far less money than Edlin.
About 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I felt like God was leading me to pick up 5 stones. 5 stones to be symbolic of the David and Goliath. But you know what? I read the book. David won.
In the state treasurer's race, Republican Allison Ball easily defeated Democrat Rick Nelson. Ball says her background will help her in this office.
As a bankruptcy attorney, I think all the time about fixing financial problems, getting people on sound financial footing, and I am eager to use those skills in the treasurer's office to be that watchdog on our spending.
And in the race for agriculture commissioner, Republican Ryan Quarles defeated Democrat Jean Marie Lawson-Spann. Quarles, right now a state representative from Georgetown, campaigned on his farming experience.
You know, the future of agriculture is bright, and I'm glad to plow new ground as we continue the success of the Kentucky Proud marketing program, continue agriculture education.
It was a rough night for Kentucky's Democratic Party, but there were 2 victories for them tonight. Andy Beshear, the son of the governor, was narrowly elected as Attorney General over Republican lawmaker Whitney Westerfield. That campaign turned heated and expensive.
In the race for Secretary of State, Democrat Allison Lundergan Grimes wins another term over Republican Steve Nipper. Many Kentucky Democrats may be asking what went wrong after losing the governor's office and 3 other races. Our Sean Moody continues our live team coverage from Frankfort. Sean?
Hey there, Sam and Amber. Yeah, the Democrats got those 2 victories, but they certainly fell short of what they expected to get with that big one, the governor's race featuring Jack Conway and Sandy Overly. That came to a stunning ending here in Frankfort. The Democrats up on stage worked to pump the crowd up, but it never really seemed like there was a lot of confidence in here. The Democrats up on stage worked to pump the crowd up, but it never really seemed like there was a lot of confidence in here, especially after Republican Matt Bevin jumped out to that early lead and never gave it up. Jack Conway thanked his family and his supporters when he took the stage to make his concession speech shortly before 9 o'clock.
Tonight was not the result that we had hoped for, but it is a result that we respect.
After the Associated Press called the governor's race for Bevin as well as Republican Mike Harmon's upset of Democrat Adam Edlin in the auditor's race, Democratic Chair Patrick Hughes told the crowd he'd continue to fight.
We are not finished in Kentucky. We may have a setback on this battle on a few races tonight, but we are going to win the war long term. Be not afraid. We are going to continue to fight on at the Kentucky Democratic Party.
Conway didn't say much about what's next, except this to his 2 daughters.
Eva, Alex, Daddy's going to be home a lot.
And we were able to talk with the new Attorney General-elect Andy Beshear about what his plans will be when he takes office. He said he'll focus on child abuse and protecting elderly people from scams. Live in Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you. Independent candidate Drew Curtis finished a distant 3rd in the race. He watched the results tonight with supporters at Chase Brewing in Lexington. Despite the loss, he said there were still plenty of positives to take away from his campaign.
I'm a novice. I've never done this before, and I'm not a politician, yet I was able to get into this race, more or less control the topics of conversation about this, and actually make a dent in the way that everything ran.
Curtis also says because of social media, he thinks there will be more candidates like him in the future.
WKYT political editor Bill Bryant says this election shows a shift to the right in Kentucky politics. He also says Governor-elect Bevin will face plenty of challenges once in office.
And it was wise of him to ask for some unity within the state, because going forward there are multiple big issues, including the health care issue that has to be settled one way or the other. Certainly the pension issue that hangs over the head of state government at this time, and many other things. This is going to be a challenging 4 years ahead, and Governor-elect Bevin knows that.
On WKYT.com, we have this interactive map showing the results of the governor's race. The counties in red are the ones Matt Bevin won. Also on WKYT.com, you'll find the results of all of the races statewide.
And just to our north, Ohio voters have rejected a measure that would have legalized marijuana. The proposal would have allowed adults 21 and older to use, buy, and grow certain amounts of marijuana. Ohio would have been the first state to make marijuana legal both recreationally and medically. And the proposal was defeated by a nearly 2-to-1 margin.
We are tracking a developing situation tonight near downtown Lexington. This is some video that's just shot a little bit ago of a large police scene on Angliana Avenue. That's off of South Broadway near the Red Mile. Police have not told us what they're doing, but our crew at the scene tells us that they have just cleared the area. Police were on scene for more than an hour. As soon as we have more information, we will bring it to you, and check WKYT.com as well. New tonight, we are tracking the investigation into a deadly shooting in Rowan County. It happened late this afternoon along Cold Springs Hollow off of Old House Creek Road near Moorhead. The Rowan County Sheriff's Office says 51-year-old Philip Gent got into an argument with his brother. The sheriff says Gent's brother then shot him. Gent later died at the hospital.
You know, death is always tragic, but especially when there are family members involved. It's a tragic situation.
The sheriff's office is still investigating what led to the shooting. So far, no charges have been filed. The crash nearly killed him. More than a month ago, police say a Bath County teenager's car ran off the road, hit a tree, and burst into flames.
And tonight, friends and family are saying that 16-year-old Aaron Williams is doing much better. He's still recovering at Cardinal Hill Rehabilitation Hospital. But his friends say he's come a long way. Sam Smith has the update, new at 11.
Family members say Aaron is getting better every day, and his friends really notice every time they come to visit.
Just a couple days ago, he wasn't even talking. Now he's standing up on his own, talking some. It's progressing fast.
This picture was taken today, and it's a sight his friends are happy to see.
It's awesome. It's really crazy. He's sitting up there. He was talking on the phone before we left. He's been texting his friends. He's been talking and whispering. It's just amazing to see what God's done in his life.
In late September, Aaron was seriously injured when he lost control of his car. It hit a tree and burst into flames. A Good Samaritan saw the wreck and pulled Aaron to safety. He's now recovering here at Cardinal Hill Rehabilitation Hospital with his friends and family by his side.
Just such an amazing guy, and you can talk to anyone, and he's just such an influential person on everyone.
It doesn't matter who you are, he's always here for you, and he's a great friend.
At this current pace of recovery, Aaron could go home as soon as 2 weeks from now. In Lexington, Sam Smith, WKYT.
And once he's discharged, Aaron will still need to go back to Cardinal Hill for treatment twice a week.
Tonight, investigators think the son may have played a role in a crash that killed one Eastern Kentucky University student and injured 3 others.
It happened this morning on the Eastern Bypass in Richmond, not far from the EKU campus. Police say a car driven by 18-year-old Tyler Hughes slammed into the back of a cement truck. He was killed in that crash. Police say that 3 other EKU students in the car had non-life-threatening injuries. They say the son may have kept Hughes from seeing the truck right in front of him. A 17-year-old died in an accident involving a forklift this afternoon. It happened just before 5 at Bluegrass Agricultural Distributors in Lancaster. The Fayette County coroner says that Grant Thomas Oakley fell off the side of a forklift and it ran over him. He was flown to UK where he died from blunt force injuries. Oakley will undergo an autopsy tomorrow in Frankfort.
New tonight, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis is now asking a federal appeals court to overturn a judge's ruling that ordered her to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. In a new filing, Davis's attorneys say Judge David Bunning's order was a, quote, rush to judgment, which trampled her religious liberty. Davis spent 5 days in jail for defying the order. Since then, the clerk's office has been issuing marriage licenses without Davis's name on them. The government has fined the Takata Corporation $70 million for the way it handled recalls of explosion-prone airbags. Safety regulators also ordered the Japanese company to stop making the airbags inflators at the heart of the problem unless it can be proven they're safe. Under an agreement, Takata admitted it knew the inflators were defective but didn't recall them in a timely manner. Investigators say 8 people died when airbag inflators shot out shrapnel in crashes.
New tonight, a Central Kentucky historic Civil War site is receiving some money to protect and preserve it. The National Park Service is awarding more than $91,000 to the Perryville Civil War Battlefield in Boyle County. 2 other Civil War battlefields in Mississippi and Virginia are also receiving money. The 3 sites are splitting more than $500,000 in all.